Welcome back. Um, oh, this is. I'm probably gonna butcher the name. 1 second. Hold up. Give me 1 second. Danganronpa. Okay. Welcome back to Danganronpa. Lapse. If you haven't watched the first video, or you're just getting to the first video, the only reason why it's almost 3 hours long is that's just the introduction to the game. To give a recap, I'll probably put some clips up of like the important moments. To just give a recap to everyone, just in case if they forgot. To begin, you wake up in this place you don't know, and you're just like disoriented and stuff. And then you start remembering stuff because like you basically got hit in the back of the head. And so you're like, oh, and you remember the person you play as name is Echo Pine. You're a student, high school student, and you wake up and you're just anxious. So you just fling open the door, and you fling open the door into someone that you know, and her name is Ashley. Okay, let me go. Okay, this is when I Ashley. Okay, Pandora. Ashley Westbridge, which is your best friend. Is this a it's yeah. And then you find out there's 8 other students, including you and Ashley. You walk around, find out about everything, and then you find out that it's a killing game, yada yada yada. You can watch my first video, just skip through it, find the important parts. But yeah, we're gonna get right back into this because I'm excited. Oh, and oh, disclaimer: I'm playing this game blind, but it is, one of those games where you have to off someone, so there might be some stuff blurred. I'm not sure yet. I haven't seen scenes of that yet. I don't know if we will see any blood or stuff like that. So just giving a disclaimer if you see anything blurred. Okay, let's get started. I voice everyone, even the girls, but it's my voice. I kind of change it sometimes. So yeah, let's get started. I guess I could take a walk to get my mind off of things. Doo-doo-doo-doo. I made my full wait. Okay. Granted, I just woke up probably 10 minutes ago because I haven't been feeling that good, but I know I need to record, so don't mind me if I butcher talk. I made my way to the foyer inside again. The grandiose foyer was empty, making me feel smaller against its elaborate decor. I dawdled around for a spell, thinking of what to do when I heard a small conversation in the dining hall. Have a look at this. Oh. Oh. It was Pandora and Say. I paused at the doorway, It seems like they're in the middle of something. Beautiful, isn't it? What's that? They achieve in higher pitch. Beautiful, isn't it? Okay, I'm not hitting that higher pitch right now. Oh, it's lovely. The engraving is just immaculate. My sister gave it to me ages ago. I was wondering if you'd like it. Huh? Why me? Were you wanting something in return? I'm kidding. That part's getting Oh, I'm cooked. One second. I want to see. I want to feel. Okay. Nothing of the sort. I was thinking, as a watchmaker, you must have a rich eye for detail. I believe you could give this piece the care it needs. Ah, I don't know. But the gift from your sister, wouldn't you want to keep it? Sorry that I sound like French. I don't know many accents. I could. I don't know how to modulate my voice to get a higher pitch, so. Yeah. I'm afraid I can't quite put it to. I'm afraid I can't quite put it to good use enough. I'm afraid I can't quite put it to good enough use. I cherish it, but if someone else can appreciate it more than I, who am I to keep it away from her? Oh, um, I'll try to take care of it. Thank you. Even after a pressing, Even after a pressing situation made itself known, it seemed like Pandora still wanted to get along with everyone, even the most timid person, some way or another. I left them alone. I stepped back into the center of the foyer. I wonder how everyone else is doing. Free time. Who's in the study? Forte, Missy. Where is Cyrus? I don't know where Cannon or Lyle. Let's let's go see Ashley. I wonder how Ashley's doing. Hey Echo. I was just reading about this painter named Marcel Osterzone. Apparently people think give me one second, I did not mean. Apparently people think very highly of their work. Would you like to see? I learned about a Renaissance painter thanks to Ashley. So, how are you feeling? I'm feeling a bit better. I took a walk to clear my head a little. Glad to hear it. The last thing I would want for you is... I'm gonna make a bloopers. Glad to hear it. The last thing I would want is for you to get all worked up. Ash, I'm curious. How did you hear about the preservation project? I heard about it by word of mouth. I have some Ultimate Talent colleagues that were talking about the preservation project. So I signed up for it along with my friend, the Ultimate Race Car driver, Dale Earnhardt. No, I'm kidding, I don't know. Wow, jockey and race car driver? That's a pretty high stakes tag team. Well, you know how it goes. Birds of a feather flock together. But I can't help but wonder whether or not he made it in. I'm sure he did. He's probably just in a different group. Maybe. It's just, last I spoke with him, we got in a huge fight. Ashley didn't want the... Ashley didn't seem to want to talk anymore. Sorry if I brought some up. Give me one moment. Okay, we are back. Sorry if I brought up something painful. No, it's okay. Fights happen when people are close. It's just the fact of. Okay, let me. Fights happen when people are close. It's just a fact of life, I suppose. We've had our fair share of spats, but have usually worked through them. Remember when I dropped your mug? I still have that mug. You worked pretty hard to mend it together in that Nitsugi fashion, although it's a little too awkward to drink out of. I knew it was your favorite, so I did my best. Thanks, Echo. I appreciate what you're trying to say. Don't worry about my silly fight. I'll get over it. I just said goodbye and let her have some time alone. I think I want to go talk to Cyrus. Or we'll start with Cyrus. I'll look for Cyrus. Hello, Echo. Have you come to relax for a bit in the spa? Feel free to join me. I, I settled in with Cyrus for a relaxing moment. Cyrus, what do you know about the Preservation Project? Oh, just about as much as any other student who signed up. It's a group that protects ultimate students from extreme natural disasters to preserve humanity's future. It's presumed that they're preserve humanity's future. It's presumed that that is their goal, as the name implies. Huh, that's as much as I know, too. It would be unfortunate to... Wait, what is Cyrus again? Hold up. ultimate risk. I'm gonna speak like this for him. It would be unfortunate to lose people who would benefit the world, right? That makes sense. What? What do you think of all of this? What do you think of? Okay. I sighed. This scenario. Okay. Gotta change my accent again. The scenario we found. We've. This scenario we found ourselves in. It feels like the very opposite of saving ultimate students. It's terrible. Building our excitement and hopes of safety only to crush those feelings in a messed up game. I couldn't wrap my head around the idea. A more than reasonable observation. It's cruel, isn't it? But most of all, I was still confused as why and how I found myself here. In that case, what do you think of the others? Huh? What about them? Well, our associates all found their way here for some reason or another. Isn't that right? No one would want to kill a... No one would want to join a killing game voluntarily. That much is obvious. But say that the former were true, that they joined to become part of humanity's future. Pandora seems keen on the idea that our talents can include world benefit and change. Do you think such a thing could happen? I suppose so. Why not? Cyrus chuckled faintly. Why not? How optimistic. Oh, yeah. I guess it might be a lot to hope for from the scenario we're in. No, no, it's good. It's good for you. Oh. No, no, it's good. It's good of you to maintain the spirit that anything is possible. Cyrus flashed a pleasant smile before reclining back on the spa chair in silence. After a beat, I saw myself out as Cyrus continued to enjoy his time in the spa. Let's go see Art. I wonder if Art's okay. My boy, Art. Okay, let's get that country boy accent. Echo, wanna see how high I can climb? Safety first, though, of course. I watched Art struggle with the ropes and harnesses before giving up on the idea of climbing altogether. So weird. What's on your mind? This game thing. The announcement said it was a game, but it's not a very fun premise. You know what I'm saying? A huge mansion or whatever. Just for the 10 of us to play a killing game. It seems, I don't know, expensive? What do you mean? This place is huge. I would have thought that this place is huge. I would have thought maybe more people would be involved by the looks of it. Not that I want a lot of people to play a killing game. You say a lot of people, but are ultimate students really so common? Yes and no. I'm familiar with Ash's name only because I pay attention to the sport, but I know zilch about photography. I think you just have to be in the right circles. And to put it in perspective, there are billions of people on the planet. Only seems like a lot of ultimate students in this moment, since we're all gathered up. That's true. Well, at least you don't have to worry much about this ultimate talent stuff. It's tiring sometimes. Art felt Anyway, doesn't look like I figured this climbing business. Catch you later. Art gave me a quick nod as he zipped out of the climbing center. The last one we need to talk to is go to Forte. Gotta get that. Woo-wee! Doggy! Ah! Welcome to the stage, Echo. I was just admiring the selection of props backstage. Would you like to try some? I awkwardly tried on some hats and masks with Forte. This killing game. It can't be our reality, can it? Excuse me, just thinking out loud. That's okay, I was wondering the same thing. I mean, the Preservation Project. Ah, what am I saying? They can't be related. Surely the group has been infiltrated and is pulling a horrible prank. Though, I can't say I enjoy the perpetrator's flavor of humor. What is a Preservation Project anyway? It's a group that provides safe housing for ultimate students, protecting them from extreme natural disasters. It had a reputation for taking in small groups of students at a time, since the news of it was passed along solely by word of mouth. Once, a, once enough students signed up, a number of them were let in. In our case, it seems the message got to the 10 of us. Word of mouth? Yes, a lot of Ultimate students often flock together in small communities within their area, since they're often outcast by the average people. I personally heard of it when they acquired an Ultimate radio host to help spread the message to my community. I can recall with clarity. Why did I turn into Trump? I can recall with clarity. His voice was boisterous and engaging, not unlike that strange announcer. Despite that, it was modest arrangement overall. There seemed to be a constrained effort not to spread the word far and wide, which is strange considering the varying range of students and talents around the world. Wouldn't you think the group would extend this offer to more ultimates? I guess it does feel a little deliberate. Ah, listen to me jawing away. Don't mind my pedantic thoughts. Just trying to make sense of this is all. Forte quieted down as he continued to inspect the costumes backstage. Ultimate communities. I thank Forte for spending time with me and left the theater. Only one person left. Missy! I'll go talk to Missy. I can't sit still knowing there are questions to be answered. Would you like to join me in an investigation? I helped Missy search every corner of the foyer to no avail. Sigh. That was kind of a heavy stop. Are you okay? I'm not immune to the pressure of the situation we have found ourselves in, and I must confess something, if you would allow me to think aloud a moment. I intended to join the Preservation Project as a part of their operating group once I heard about it. I thought my skills would prove useful. Really? What are you thinking about it now? I'm convinced the group must have been infiltrated. The group is known for bringing in many talents from around the world. For starters, I know the Preservation Project Safe House was a large building with many wings for each group of Ultimate students. The groups are divided by the window of time students signed up. In our case, we all signed up within a relatively close time frame, creating a group of 10. The individual groups are often offered a class project to work on together, utilizing all the unique skills in their pool. These projects apparently have varying results, given the fact that each group may or may not be composed of incompatible talents. Regardless, the end products are usually very unique. Wow, that sounds interesting. Certainly, it would have been an amusing and challenging experience to participate as well, but alas, other alternate students, huh? I let Missy continue investigating in peace. Where do I go now? Let's see if Cannon's in any mood to talk. Bet you she's in the atrium. I looked up and down the hall, but couldn't find Cannon anywhere. Guess she's in her personal room. I made my way over I made my way over to her listed personal room in the living quarters and knocked lightly. Cannon? There was no response on the other end. Either she was out being difficult to find or she didn't want to be bothered. Whatever the case, I moved on. The only other person is Lyle. Wonder what Lyle's up to. Nowhere. I wandered the first and second hallways in search of Lyle, but failed to find him. I guess he's all solving the killing game puzzle. Better let him get to it. I think that's everyone. I learned a little bit more about this preservation project and how others found their way to this place. Despite that, I was still left pondering my purpose here. After spending some time with my fellow classmates, I habitually wandered back to my personal room. But upon entering, I realized I didn't have any personal effects with which to pass the time, so I stepped right back out into the hall to see if anyone wanted to socialize. Ooh. Incidentally, I came across Say and Cannon on their way from the foyer in the halls. Hey, Say, Cannon. I was about to go to the dining hall. Did you want to come? We just left the dining hall. Oh, I see. We stood in silence for half a minute. Well, I, should go. Say shuffled off, leaving me and Canyon to fill the empty air. She went right back out to the foyer, to who knows where. Huh? Say's personal room is right here. Maybe she wants to spend time in one of the activity rooms? Maybe. The conversation came to a stalemate. I'm just being cautious. Cannon turned and withdrew to her personal room. I let out a deep breath I didn't know I was holding in. Cannon tires me out. Women, am I right? I made my way to the dining hall, running into Ashley along the way. We greeted each other in the Whoa. We greeted each other in a rather unusual manner before sitting down with the other students who all had already settled in for a meal. Ah, Echo and Ashley, feel free to join us. We were just starting. How have you been faring since this morning? Ah, I'm feeling much better. Thank you. Pleased to hear it. Missy sat at the head of the table. Art and Cyrus sat across from each other, with Ashley sitting next to Cyrus. I shuffled in, sitting next to Art and across from Ashley. Man, what kind of class only has 5 students? One that has been disillusioned by a strange game, apparently. Yes, it's a little disheartening to see only half of our group gathered here. Well, it isn't strictly required that we all have dinner together, so now it's nighttime. I saw Say and Cannon in passing. They must have had their share already and were on their way out. Say is a pretty shy girl, so I can understand perhaps she didn't want to be around a large group of people. And Cannon, she's awfully mysterious. Well, there's no use of wondering about them. They can do whatever they please, so we shouldn't question their actions, even if they're suspicious. And for that matter, doesn't the killing game frighten any of you? I voiced the questions that have been ruling my thoughts. I mean, there's really no one capable of that sort of thing, is there? My question was met with silence. Echo, I understand that you might be afraid right now, but it won't do you any good to worry. You're only gonna run yourself ragged, thinking about the frightful possibilities. Yeah, Missy's right. Just some dumb announcement out of nowhere, so what's the threat? Precisely. We shouldn't make ourselves sick with anxiety from something that hasn't invoked any consequences. Plus, if this were a killing game, why would they give us such nice amenities? Why not just throw us into a creepy locked building? Wouldn't that pressure us further into killing each other? Escape an unknown scary building? I wonder. Regardless, we shouldn't dwell on the specifics of something so mysterious and harmless. Let us each enjoy Let us enjoy each other's company in the fixings of this mansion to the fullest. Thank you for the encouraging words, Missy. Missy won't get shook up. She's the definition of keeping it cool. Keeping it cool, Missy. With the atmosphere lightened up, we continue our dinner with lively chatter. I was thankful to have such positive energies surrounding me. Hamburger. After dinner, we all departed to wrap the evening with our own activities. Ashley and I walked over to the living quarters to rest for the evening. But before we went to our respective rooms, Ashley pulled me over to the end of the living quarters hallway. Ash, what's up? Echo. I've been thinking about. I've been thinking and don't know how to say this. This killing game has me really worried. An ultimate battle royale. Just saying that is ridiculous. It has to be some kind of themed ARG or weird elaborate prank. I was kidding around, but Ashley remained still with a serious demeanor. Well, you're here, aren't you? How else would you explain your high school plaque on your personal room door? Huh? Sure, it's a little strange, but that can mean anything. I was probably just mistaken for a different student at my high school. You know what I think it means? I think I know what she's gonna say. And then crap's gonna hit the fan. It means I was right. Echo, being involved with me only results in ultimate levels of trouble. This game that's specifically created for ultimate students managed to gain a collateral student participant simply by association. Me. Ash, what are you saying? I I don't want you to worry about me. Yes, I can protect myself, but it's more than that. I remember that night. The night you dropped me off after we had dinner. You couldn't walk me to my house. I did in fact make it to the house in one piece. When I looked back out onto the street, I noticed something strange. I saw smoke. It was coming from the direction you dropped me off, so I assumed the worst. I wanted to run out there and see what had happened, but the only thing I remembered after that was a sharp pain and then black. Right. I must have been a target or something. Someone must have subdued and captured me, and at the same time, you as well. Whoever did this, it seemed they wanted to cover all their bases, which meant if you saw anything that night, you had to be taken also. That makes so much more sense of why I'm here. I trembled at the thought. The problem was I didn't see a thing happen that night. Echo, I can protect myself, but I want you to keep your distance so whatever happens to me doesn't come to harm you as well. How could you say that? We're best friends. I can't abandon you at a time like this. I need you to let me alone. It's for your safety. It hurts me to even think about it, but I don't want you to be in danger because of your relation to me as a close friend. I couldn't believe what was happening. Ashley's face was painted with remorse. She only wanted to keep me safe, but in return it meant we needed to be apart. Ashley gave me one last hug before retiring to her room for the night. Ashley. I hung my head in despair. Why did this have to happen? I clenched my fists in frustration. Damn it! Pounded the wall trying to process everything when I heard a gentle voice. Let me guess. Pandora. Or Cannon. I'm so sorry for what just happened. One second. I'm gonna spoil this for myself. Okay. I'm so sorry for what just happened. I'm guessing either Pandora or Cannon. I twirled around to find the source of the voice a few paces behind me. It was Pandora. Her voice was barely a whisper. Pandora, you heard our conversation? I apologize. I didn't mean to eavesdrop. I was only nearby because I wanted to talk to you privately. Hold up. Me? Yes. I was wondering, does this message mean anything to you? Pandora pulled a small piece of paper out of her apron pocket. The note had two small symbols on it, along with some text. If you recognize one of the symbols depicted, then you have finally found me and are safe. Please do not speak of this note's existence. Trust no one but yourself. Upon closer inspection, the symbols were similar to the ones the announcements showed. What? What does this mean? Do you recognize either of them? I can't say that I do. Oh, that's unfortunate. I was confused by the contents of the note, so I was hoping someone could help me. In particular, I was wondering what the note meant by, "You are safe." Based on what's shown on the note itself, the two symbols could be of interest. Seems like there could be someone here who might be connected to whoever is controlling the announcements. Basically, there might be a spy. I thought the same, but I wish the implications weren't so. Where did you find them? It was in my apron pocket since I woke. I don't know how it got there. I don't recall putting anything like this in my pocket. She tucked the note away back in her apron pocket. However, that wasn't really what I wanted to talk to you about. Huh? I knew it all along. I wanted to say, I feel like you're a very special person. I'm not saying anything. I can't really explain it, but I feel a strong aura about you. I have aura? Oh, oh, thank you. She smiled and went on. Echo, you might think being an ultimate student is some kind of extravagant existence, but you forget there's the beauty in the ordinary as well. Even if we do have ultimate talent, we're still regular people, just like you. Waking up with bed heads, sometimes showing up late to our appointments. We're just a little more preoccupied with one particular thing than most others. Thank you, Pandora. Pandora managed to quell a bit of the worry in my heart. But it is a pity of what happened between you and Ashley. Don't try anything. I don't know what to think anymore. One moment Missy is telling me not to believe a word the announcement says, and another moment Ash is cutting ties with me in a firm belief of the dangers of the game. What what am I supposed to do? I felt my throat begin to choke. I have a feeling that something might happen between them two. Oh, I don't know French. Oh, Echo. I don't think it's my place to say, however, so the French word means so sorry. But is this is but a bump in the road. Ashley will always be your friend no matter what. And it may be difficult to determine what's in store for us ahead, so we must keep our faith and live one moment at a time. The lights started to dim as Pandora smiled at me one last time. Is that the bite of 87? Okay, I just said that. It is now 9 p.m. Nighttime will begin at 10 p.m. Facilities will be closed until 7 a.m. the next morning. Even the darkest night will end, and the sun will rise. I want to look that up. Even the, even the darkest finale. Victor Hugo. So this quote is from Victor Hugo. Oh dear, it looks like nighttime has come. Well then, I'm guessing that means good bonne nuit, Echo. And please don't tell anyone about this note. I was right, I know French. I don't want to cause any unnecessary trouble. I feel like this note is the key to the many mysteries of this place. I nodded. The note was odd, but I couldn't find it in me to outright doubt Pandora. Good night to you. Good night to you too, Pandora. We both returned to our personal rooms to pass over the night. Oh my gosh. This game had me feeling some sort of way. Returning to my room, I made myself comfortable and slipped into bed. I stared blankly at the dim ceiling, letting my mind wander aimlessly through the news I learned today. But nothing really stuck. Words and conversations and thought flew by as I let my heavy eyes close. The one thought that pervaded the others was, what would be waiting for us tomorrow? Before I knew it, I'd fallen into a deep sleep. We gotta keep going. I want to know what happens. I opened my eyes to the now familiar colors of the room. I looked at the clock on my bedside table. 7:28. I turned off the alarm before it rang and steadily got out of bed. Only 2 days had passed, yet I found myself beginning to acclimate to the sleep schedule. I splashed my face with cold water, the icy sting charging my nerves for a sharp awakening. I wonder if anyone is in the dining hall for breakfast yet. Pandora, I bet. I made my way to the dining hall, stopping in the foyer for a moment to gaze at the mysterious, electrifying doorway. In the dining hall were a few early risers just starting breakfast. Good morning. Good morning, Echo. Please help yourself. I made some muffins with citrus today. Hopefully it will energize you. Nothing like a hearty, satisfying breakfast to start the day. Ooh, rolling with the same crew as last night, except I guess Ashley was switched in for Pandora. My heart hurt when Art mentioned Ashley. Pandora must have noticed and sat close to me. Here, I made lemon squares just for you. Ashley told me in passing you liked the lemon. She did? So Ashley was still looking out for me. It's really gonna suck, because I know what kinda happens. Thanks, Pandora. Can you tell her to thank... Whoa. Thanks, Pandora. Can you tell her thank you for me as well? Of course. We continued our leisurely breakfast as we all shook off the night's slumber. No one else came in during the length of our stay in the dining hall. However, what are we gonna find out? It is now 9 a.m. Please assemble in the second floor atrium for a special announcement. After the announcement ended, I mechanically started to get up from my seat when Art loudly kicked his feet up on the table. No way! Art leaned back in his chair and pouted. We're not going to listen to your creepy announcements, you hear? He waggled his finger aimlessly at the ceiling. I wonder what happens if we refuse to assemble. Do we want to test this passive protest? Why not? I'm curious as well. Hold up. Give me 1 minute. No. Hey, isn't this dangerous? I agree, it might be risky. The only risk so far had been from when Echo actively tried to escape. The past 48 hours had been nothing but casual to us. However, after a moment of silence, the painting above the fireplace switched to the announcement emblem. It was the Killing Game announcer. Time to get my game show host. Nope, wrong button. So, welcome to day 3. So it plays regardless. I sat down and allowed the announcement to disrupt their morning. Are you all comfortable? Having a nice breakfast? Having fun sleeping in? That's great to hear! Today we'll be reviewing some general rules relative to our lovely killing game. They are as follows. Students will join idealistic lifestyle within the Athophagium walls for a duration of 7 days. Active amenities are open from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Breaking major assets, kitchen refrigerator, theater lights, etc. is strictly prohibited. At the end of 7 days, whoever survives is awarded the ultimate prize. To expedite the process toward the ultimate prize, one must kill a fellow student without getting caught. And to get the ball rolling, each morning a special musing will be provided to exercise your mind. Today's force motive question is: are your talents a true representation of who you are? Who are you beyond your talent? Stew upon these brain-teasing inquiries as you carry on with your communal lives. And whoever actually went to the atrium gets an additional special gift. Haha, yeah, I know. No one wants to go to the second floor just to hear an announcement. That's what speakers are for, after all. So whoever followed the rules got a little something, if you know what I mean. Finally, if there are no developments by day's end, there will be serious repercussions. You will You all will suffer the consequences and be executed as a group for failing to participate in the game. I did not know that part. So this game's gonna get a little bit more interesting. Check out your bracelets. They contain a lethal dose of Complex 53, just enough to knock you into the next life in less than a minute. Huh? I flipped my bracelet over to see a small vial of clear liquid attached to a control chip. Our bracelets had these things the whole time? But that's just a last resort. I don't really want to use it unless you all really bore me. So come on, you all, make it happen. Wow. Just wow. I did not know that part. The bizarre announcement cut out and the painting returned to its original form. Wow. So, the thing they're giving us to motivate murder is a question and threat of a clear liquid that is proclaimed to be a deadly toxic gas. As far as I know, such a chemical by the name Complex 53 doesn't exist. It might just be water, like a prop or something. And to release it only at the end of the day if nothing happens? I don't know. Seemed kind of weak. I furrowed my brow. I recalled what Missy said yesterday, that the risk wasn't high enough to do something drastic. Question was hardly raising the bar, not to mention a small vial of liquid. As for the other provided motive, as it were, I don't understand. Are we meant to discuss the question with each other? Perhaps. Unless anyone has any skeletons in the closet, I believe it is only fair to share our thoughts on the subject. I sheepishly ducked my head, but Missy caught me. Echo, why don't you lead us in our discussion? You are the most qualified, since you sit in a rather gray area when it comes to ultimate talents. Which isn't to say you're not included, but I think you have the most neutral viewpoint that is appropriate for judgment. Sure, if you say so. If you don't want to, it's not necessary. It's alright. I have to admit, I'm pretty curious now. Well, let's see what everyone has to say. Pringle. Who am I beyond my talent? I'm gonna write. I don't know why I'm gonna write stuff down. You know what? Um, I'm gonna keep a notepad. Give me a moment. Nah, I don't need a notepad. Honestly, I wouldn't be anything without baking. Even in another life, I think I would always find my way back to baking. It's just in my soul. I think at the core of it, such an activity represents all that I care for. I think at the core of it, such an activity represents all that I care for in life. The simplicity in sharing good food with friends, to make something infused with love, and to bring to bring that joy to others. It's quite a special feeling, is it not? Yeah, I think I know what you mean. Listen to me being so sentimental. You really love baking, huh? Oh, it's everything. Art. Is being a pro golfer a true is being a true golfer a true representation of who I am? I don't really get it. I mean, I think it is. I haven't really expanded my interests outside what I know, which is golf. So I can't say anything else encompasses who I am. Does that make sense? Yeah, I think so. If you tried something new now, I think it might be disorienting to fail at said activity since you're not ultra skilled in it. Oh, oh, yeah, that does make sense. Well, ultimate golfer or not, yeah, I like playing golf. I think I got so good at the sport because I knew I liked it all this time and stuck around with it. Never really thought of the other stuff. Yeah, there we go. I guess it's a simple sentiment then. Or, guess it's a simple sentiment. Hee hee. Thanks, Echo. Let's go with Cyrus. So, Cyrus. Yes. What does being called the ultimate charisma entail? Why, it's the mystifying ability to draw people towards me with little to no effort. So he just has ultimate wit. Is basically what I'm hearing. Or so I've been told. Some might equate the word charisma with charm, and in turn, think that charisma has to do with good looks, beautiful voice, overflowing wealth, etc. However, I think charisma actually lies simply in having a kind soul. People are swayed by those with a kind soul, be it they have good intentions to follow through on or bad intentions to take advantage of. I found myself absorbed in Cyrus's statement. I might even say you're rather charismatic yourself, Echo. Oh, I don't know if I'd go that far. Nonsense. I welcome your presence. It's calming. I felt a little embarrassed after being given such kind praise from the one so-called ultimate charisma himself. Um, so with that in mind, how would you describe your personality and talent? Not sure. It's always difficult to talk about yourself, though I suppose I do like going with the flow. I guess a word could be cooperative. I got a better one for you. Submissive. And Missy. A political tactician, huh? It's not glamorous. I'm often tasked with knowing the burdens and misdeeds of many people in power. Somewhat a curse to be able to lie my way out of a sticky situation. How do you feel about being called the ultimate tactician, though? I don't mind. It is what it is. It is the strength I've been blessed with, and I would be misspoken if I said I took an interest in the other things. I've always known my personality to be that of someone who informs, and if I can give a purpose-driven voice power to speak up for what is right, then the ensuing battle, be it a difficult one, will produce satisfying results. I believe at the end of it, if an intense debate occurs, there's often an intense emotion behind it. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen your fair share of selfishness and greed, though. Circumventing through those intentions can be trying, but you just need to take the good with the bad. Missy, self-assured as always. Well, everyone said similar. Everyone said similar things. That their talents run alongside their personalities. You can have one without the other. What an odd motive. I would imagine talking about this kind of thing among peers would only reinforce relations. If our captors are trying to plant distrust, I'm afraid I don't quite understand the logic. Thought about the intention of the question, but all I could think of was that it might be to weed out spies, which involuntarily led me to suspect the person I would least suspect. Is something the matter, Echo? No, nothing. I averted my gaze from Pandora. She had some kind of secret note that bore the strange emblems of our mansion's announcers. What could it mean? If I may be so bold, I firmly believe from our discussion that our ultimate talents are truly one and the same with our personality and characteristics. I'm inclined to agree. I guess it's cool that we got to know each other a little more, though. It seems like a friendly enough topic. Indeed, our talents and skills born from a passion within, and you simply cannot remove that aspect of a person without losing a part of them. A peculiar motivator that I'm With our thoughts on the fourth motive question cleared, our group was able to finish the morning in peace. I really want to go talk to Ashley, but I know she just doesn't want to. Breakfast Club wrapped up, and with no other announcements to interrupt us, the afternoon was completely available for our individual activities. I didn't have anything in particular planned today, so I idled in the foyer before deciding what to do next. Hey, Echo. Lyle. No, Pandora. Or Ash. I'm guessing Pandora. That familiar voice erupted from behind me. Art? What's up, Art? This might be weird to ask, but do you mind if I hang out with you today? I'm kind of curious about the other students' talent stories, but I didn't want to go running around the mansion alone. Why didn't you ask one of the others from breakfast? Huh? Oh, 'cause you're cool. What? I mean, you're easy to talk to. I thought about asking Missy, but Missy's kind of imposing. Honestly, okay, let me reread that. Missy's kind of imposing, honestly. You know, I feel like having a walk. I feel like I have to walk all night. Like, I'm. I feel like I have to walk all night, like I'm balancing books on my head or something. I don't think she's strict on how others walk or anything like that. That aside, she stuck around with you on the first date, didn't she? Oh yeah, you're right. I'm asking you now since I'm here. Besides, I can't find Lyle. I wanted to get another strategy meeting started today and maybe even help him with solving some stuff, but so I was his second choice. Somehow he seemed disappointed. Sure, I'll tag along. I didn't really have anything planned today anyway. I trailed off, thinking about Ashley. We can probably cut down on one visit right here, since you and Ashley are best friends. You know anything about her talent? Honestly, I can't say that I do. This is the first time I even heard about such a thing like ultimate talent. All I knew was that she lived out in the countryside with her father on a ranch, Westbridge Stables. I didn't think all her time around horses amounted to something as intense as being an ultimate jockey. Huh, maybe she just likes to be modest. I mean, just because she has high win rates doesn't mean she avoids taking care of horses. Kinda like she works hard and plays hard. Does that make sense? I couldn't really make heads or tails of it. I didn't really want to be I didn't really want to be thinking about Ashley at the moment. Anyway, it was too overwhelming. I sighed. Yeah, I suppose that could be it. Alright, that's one down. Let's get going. Seems I got roped into exploring the other students' opinions on the forced motive questions with art. Not that I was opposed to the idea of learning about the others. There were a handful of people we haven't heard from. Say, Forte, Cannon, and Lyle. There was Forte. Forte is probably where I think he is. To the theater we go! Wait, yeah, let me check something real quick. Okay. Ah, Arch and Echo, what brings you here? Art here was curious about your opinion on the forced motive question. Yeah, why opera? Isn't it boring? Art, full of tact, I see. Ah, it's quite the opposite of boring. Performances are very rich and can shake the viewer to their core. Opera is a wonderful art that combines raw vocal emotion with the physical beauty of expressing the self with your very being. Ooh. Want to hit us with some bars? Forte's opera, okay, opera voice. To say I was a little curious. To say I was a little curious would be an understatement. Oh no, I couldn't perform under these conditions. What conditions? Why, the conditions of the heart, of course. Um, can we ask why that is? Well, you see, I haven't been able to properly express myself since a tragedy struck in my hometown. We lost a friend in our community, Sir Hyde, one of our most loyal friends. One of his favorite pastimes included long walks in the park, with the wind gently brushing through his ears. Wait, wait, hold up. Stupid game. Wait, is he talking about what I think he's going to talk about? You lost your dog? Art! Yes, I'm still rather fragile about it. I'm sorry. That sucks, man. See, Davareo. I'm guessing that means yes, truly. I suppose it's different, experiencing tragedy than performing it. Ah, precisely. I've been troubled since. What kind of dog was he? A German Shepherd of 13 years. Ah, I'm sure you gave him a grateful life, with lots of music, of course. Forte's lip turned a small grin. Indeed, dog is man's best friend, are they not? Would have been unseemly of me to treat him not unlike my own family. He had such charm and wit, howling along with my practice. Why, I dare say he prevented me from practicing, times more often than not. Sir Hyde loved to command the attention of all with his gaiety. I couldn't help but smirk at the idea of his dog on the theater stage. It was a sweet thought. Yeah, just remember those good old times with Mr. Hyde. Indeed I shall. Thank you, Art. After that small chat, Art and I thanked Forte for his time and paused near the theater exit to collect our thoughts. I bet his dog was really fun to play with. Anyway, what did we learn? I don't think we got an answer to the question as much as we did a description of what opera is. I think we did. Forte is kind of a dramatic guy, sure, but I think he's very in tune with his emotions, just like opera. Hmm. Satisfied with the answer, Art nodded in understanding. And despite him jumping straight to Forte's worries, hers seemed to have helped Forte recall his fondness of his late friend. Who do we go see next? We got Say, Cannon. You know what? Let's go. I wonder. Look for Lyle real quick. Nowhere. Art and I looked around for Lyle, but he remained as elusive as ever. What the heck? Where is Lyle? Don't know. I'm certain we would have ran into him by now. If we run around some more, we're bound to find him sooner or later. Cannon can't avoid us. Cannon can't avoid us forever. Cannon was in the atrium. Photographing. Some of the greenery in the center of the grand hall. Art and I hid away behind some bushes, watching quietly. Hey, I know you two are there. Be quiet until I'm done. We watched in silence as she snapped various photos of the plants. Out with it. What do you want? Echo was curious about your talent in relation to the force motive question. Way to throw me under the bus. Yeah, just wanted to hear your thoughts. There's not much to say. I know who I am. A photographer, behind the scenes kind of person who brings others' visions to life and captures them for eternity. Was this rehearsed or what? Art? No. I just know who I am. With a certainty. Just as Cannon was about to make a dramatic exit on that lingering note, Pandora caught her on the way out. Oh, Cannon, just the person I wanted to see. And is this about the motive question as well? Indeed. Rukin figure is an interesting subject. Would you mind if I ask? What draws you to it? Yes, I do mind. It's niche, and I don't want to waste my breath explaining these nuances to people who wouldn't understand. No activity is so niche that it's acted upon without love, you know. Okay, it doesn't say what that. Whatever. Leave me alone. Did I offend you? No. Just, why are you all bombarding me with questions? We're not close. This is how we get close. We make small talk and learn about each other. It's all in good spirit. Well, I really wish you wouldn't bother. Cannon ends the conversations for us again and disappears from the atrium. Well, guess that's that. Sorry to walk in on that, Pandora. It's fine. Perhaps it wasn't my place to ask. I shouldn't pry, right? Oh, you didn't do anything wrong. Cannon's just kinda snippy. That's putting it kindly. Thank you, Art. Echo. Excuse me. I just remembered something. I'll see you two around. Oh, sure thing. We'll see you later. The only other person we haven't seen is Say. Let's try to find Say. Art and I saw Say in the kitchen, poking at the digital screen. Ugh, I haven't eaten since yesterday. Say, what's the matter? Ah. Oh, it's no use. I don't know how to use this screen thing. It doesn't register my taps. Huh? You need to tap your bracelet to the screen first, then you can choose a meal. What? She raised her right arm, scanned her bracelet to the screen, activating the display. This is embarrassing. I'm not right-handed, so I didn't think about it. Glad I could help. Say poked at the digital screen, ordering a rice porridge with pickled vegetables. Eat up, Say. Echo, let's get something too so she doesn't have to eat alone. Art, Say, and I shared a small meal together. After we finished, Say sat quietly in the dining hall and fidgeted with her rings. She then let out a big, exasperated sigh. Ugh. It's really no use. What's wrong? I can't get used to anything around here. Maybe because I'm kind of forgetful, but I went so long without eating because I couldn't figure out the menu thing. You shouldn't go so long without eating. If you need if you need help with anything, you can always ask one of your friends here. Friends? Is that too forward? No, it's just I don't talk to you all much, so I didn't believe you thought of me as a friend. Aw, don't say that. There's no reason we wouldn't call you a friend, right? Uh, uh. She stopped there, but I saw a small smile turn the corner of her lips. So, right down to business. Business? We came by to see you, to ask you about the question thing. The question thing? You mean the forced motive question? Yeah, a group of us were talking about it in the dining hall over breakfast, and we were wondering if you had any thoughts about it. I don't know. Seems straightforward. I'm a detail-oriented person, and watches are full of little mechanisms. Although I guess, although I guess I can get lost in those details and miss the big picture, like just now. But but then again, after the gear design differences under the face of the watch, the outcome is still fixed. The timepiece, right? Hold up. Oh well. Uh, yeah, I don't really understand what the question is supposed to be all about. Sorry. No worries. We don't know either, so we're just going around getting everyone's opinion. Oh, 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 I see. Well, good luck figuring it out then. Say clams up quickly and say clams up and quickly scuttles off before we could say anything else. Oh, bye. She's kind of antsy, huh? I'm kind of nervous because I don't know if anything happens today. After running around all day, Art and I managed to catch Lyle as he was about to enter his room on the other side of the living quarters hall. Yo, Lyle! Hey there, what's the good word? You're awfully casual for being so difficult to find. Yeah, we finally caught you. Huh? You've been running around this whole building solving puzzles. And we've been running around this whole building looking for you. Oh, I'm in hot demand. Is that right? Yeah, we wanted to hear your thoughts on the motive question. We thought it might improve relations, getting to know each other better and all. Ah, that. Hmm. Forced motive question. It's not a very strong motivator, is it? What if I don't want to talk about it? I suppose you don't have to. Yeah, but we're friends. We should share stuff like this. And friends should know when to let up on the pressure. Oh, sorry, Lyle. Art looked down dejectedly. I'm sure Art didn't mean to press you so hard. It's fine. It's just I've just known puzzles all my life, you know? Puzzle solving is more of a introverted task if you know. They're generally seen as activities simply for passing the time. Cubing, crosswords, etc. etc. I don't really like thinking about who I am beyond my talent is all. I'm afraid that I'm too boring without puzzles. You're not boring. You're plenty cool. I mean, look around. You've got all sorts of friends here who think you're amazing for charging right towards solving the electric door. Right, Echo. Amazing was one way to put it. Yeah, Lyle, don't beat yourself up. You have a gift. Huh. Thanks, you two. But hey, while we're on the topic, listen to this. I tinkered with the door and managed to figure something out. Lyle had our attention as he led the way to the foyer. Here we are. Give the door a try. What? No way. Does that mean we don't have to stay here anymore? Well, that's the catch. Go ahead. I gave Lyle a nervous look before reaching slowly for the door handle. Bracing myself, I quickly gripped the handle and nothing happened. It was fine. Wow, Lyle, you did it. I gave the doors a push, but they wouldn't budge. Oh, what now? What the? Is there a barricade or something? I think so. That or it's just hard locked. So I managed to disable the electric door, but the physical barrier is an issue now. I admit, I'm relieved that there's more layers to this task. What do you mean? It would have been too boring if I just had to disarm a door. Unconcerned with the discovery, Lyle was more satisfied with having more puzzles to solve than he was with removing a trap from the dangerous door. Here's something else that's interesting though. Might be important since it's about this weird killing game twist. After that 9 a.m. morning announcement, I saw Say sneak downstairs from the direction of the atrium. You think she actually went to listen to that announcement? Can't think of anything else. Even stranger was after she came down. She went to the dining hall for a minute, but quickly left. Poked around in there and saw this in the pantry. Whoa, secret note. So, is that the so-called special gift? Yeah, I can only assume. I was confused. How could it have been a special gift from this morning if Pandora shared the note with me in confidentiality last night? I'm curious about something. It's spoiling this for me, but I think I have. Never mind. I was wrong. I decided to keep quiet about it. I didn't want to confuse things further. I studied it a little and the symbols don't match any of the symbols of the students that are currently here. Cross-referenced the note symbols with the ones on our personal room doors and got nothing. That is, if the note symbols even belong to students. I remember Missy saying something about other students. Oh, she told me that the preservation project divides alternate student groups across different wings of the building. Maybe those are students from a different wing. So what would we do if we did know those students? It's not like we've seen them in our part of the building yet. Who knows? Could it be morphogenic field theory? Lyle murdered something under his breath. Morpho what? Don't worry about it. Makes me wonder though, are we meant to be recognizing other students? For example, I believe I recall Ashley and Echo being friends before this. Am I wrong? No, you're right. I thought it was just me, though. Right? See, for me, I recognize the art school emblem. AA Academy, right? Huh? Yeah, how'd you know? I went to Rainmoth Institute. I remember seeing your school symbol when our schools merged. My school used to be called Signal Prep High School before the merger. I thought you were so cool, representing a whole school to influence a merger. Ha ha, that's kind of embarrassing. It was such a long time ago, I hardly remember it. Why not? It's amazing that you used your golf skills to make things happen. Our school has never been in better shape, thanks to your help. Ah, thanks, but people complain that my games aren't interesting enough since I always get the same result. A hole in one. I always say games should be entertaining. They should just play golf themselves, you know. Besides, Lyle, you're the cool one. I mean, you use like your deduction or whatever to figure out how to disarm a dangerous door. That's more utility than I could have ever imagined. Ha! It's nothing. The door doesn't even open anyway. It's still awesome though. I feel like you could figure out what the deal is with the killing game announcement stuff. Oh yes, that's the end goal. I'm just working my way through all these small pieces they've given me. The two talked energetically as I awkwardly watched. Oh, sorry, Echo. We're just over here talking your ears off, huh? That's alright. I'll take my leave now if you guys want to continue. Sure, it was fun hanging out with you. Let me know if you come across anything else. Anything. Let me know if you come across anything else weird. Alright? Art and Lyle left, chattering along the way out. They really clicked, huh? Despite Art's lack of sensitivity. I turned around and glanced over at the digital kiosk in the foyer, looking for the time. 1500. At 3 o'clock. It's already 3 in the afternoon. Nothing regarding the killing game has happened all day. I guess I should be relieved. I really wanted to find Ashley, but it seemed like she was trying her best to put distance between us. I suppose I'll just pass time in the study. Now I'm gonna run into Ashley, aren't I? I made my way to the study and skimmed a collection of encyclopedias. An interesting titled book, Odd Theme Parks Across the World, caught my attention. With the tome in hand, I settled in the warmly lit study and began to leaf through the pages. I have a feeling I passed the time reading about a strange underwater theme park called Lamu. I looked up from the book's pages and toward the ringing sound coming from the ceiling. It is now 4 p.m. and no one has died yet. Ugh, how boring. Here's something that'll pump up your blood to shed some blood. Some inspiring, exciting, and energizing music. Music. This one's a special request for many of you at home. Enjoy. What? The announcement finished and a cacophony of obnoxious noise started playing overhead. Ah, what kind of music is this? Got the book to cover my ears, but it was pointless. The reverberation pierced through my skull and pounded through the walls. What? I think I know what's gonna happen. Probably in the next 20 minutes, we'll probably see something blurred, maybe. Because I think I know what's going on. Scouring the room, I looked for the speaker, hoping to block the noise, but my efforts were futile. I ran out of the study, but the din kept crashing through my head, amplified worse from bouncing off the hallway walls. Where is everyone? I instinctively went to the foyer, but it was no use. The door was disarmed, but it was still barricaded. What can I do? The noise was more severe in the foyer as it crashed off the walls and echoed through the main chamber. Urgh. My head was pounding. I could feel the vibrations in my body and my heart beating in my ears. Turning away from the main doors, I saw a shadowy movement at the top of the stairs. Hey! The shadow disappeared. I mustered out a cry for attention, but it was drowned out by the noise. Don't go in this far. Speeding up the stairs, the shadow was nowhere to be seen. Shoot! Where did they go? I peeked through the glass doors of the closest room, the spa lounge, and spotted Pandora reclined in one of the lounge chairs. Ah, finally, finally. Someone help me with this horrible situation. I threw the door wide open and rushed in. I think I know what happened. The music persisted as the echoes of its beat flooded into the circular chamber. Pandora, what's going on? I can't find anybody. No reaction. Pandora? I closed the distance between us and gently laid my hand on her shoulder. Time froze. My breath escaped me once more as I slowly came to realize what happened. I felt my blood run cold as my eyes laid fixed on the stillness before me. Okay, don't have to blur anything. That's good. Uh, I'm not screaming. There was no response from her. Pandora was dead. Danganronpa. I darted out of the spa lounge, my eyes tearing through the hall as I screamed at the top of my lungs for help from anyone. Help! Two people swept in at the sound of my voice. What is it? Stop making so much noise. The music is making enough of a racket. It's Pandora. Where is she? We raced back to the spa lounge. Cyrus's and Cannon's eyes were bound immediately toward the horrific sight. Cannon gasped sharply and flinched, nearly toppling over backwards from the recoil. Cyrus's expression hardened. A quiet anger emanated from him, it almost palpable in the air. I myself was completely drained. All I could do was stare in a cold silence. Finally, the music ceased and a new announcement began. At last, a body has been discovered in the spa lounge. You will be granted a period of investigation, and then we will begin our class trial. Please accept this generous gift of a special report called the Monokuma file. It will be printed from the digital kiosk, and it outlines the detail of our poor, lost friend. Your lives depend on solving this case, so get a crack on. The announcement cut off, allowing stiff apprehension to suffocate the scene. Investigation? They want us to
Investigates Pandora's dead body? And how dare that announcement call her a poor lost friend? It's their fault for forcing this game on us. Echo, please calm yourself. It appears we're given an opportunity to right this wrong. May be difficult to swallow, but this didn't just happen out of nowhere. Someone did this. A culprit. Huh? A culprit? It's only appropriate. The culprit we are seeking is the killer. The culprit we are seeking is the killer. The culprit we are seeking is the killer responsible for Pandora's death. His voice was firm, but I could see him clenching his jaw and his eyebrows furrowed as he looked back at the body. Cannon, however, stood unmoving. She neither moved nor spoke, since I saw her flinch at the first sight. It's like she froze. Right. The door flew open suddenly, and I heard everyone clamoring at the spa lounge entryway. Eek! Say shrieked and immediately fainted. Say! The rest of the students made their way in, fright painting everyone's faces as they each caught sight of the spa's terrible centerpiece. Unbelievable. I wish that announcement was made in jest, but it appears I have been made a fool for hoping. Oh, this is too much. Why Pandora? Why? Everyone seemed at a loss, with good reason for sure. The announcement said we were given a period of investigation, but I couldn't help to think it was such a detached request. Investigate the murder of our friend? Where would we even begin? Missy's commanding voice broke the silence. So, we've been instructed to investigate such a thing. The Monokuma file should tell about the means of her death. But how do we even start? Rapid press space. Does anyone know the first thing about investigating a dead body? No one spoke up, but Missy pressed on. All we can do is investigate to the best of our ability. If there's even a small, trifling matter that plays into this, keep it in mind. We need to put our best foot forward in the investigation if we are to find this heartless culprit. I have a bad feeling that the class trial may be an unforgiving scene. It's such a tragedy, dreadful more so, that we must be the ones to discover the culprit among us. Among us? Everyone was visibly stressed. We all stood some feet away from the body, afraid of approaching the reality of our situation. The air was thick with tension, but Ashley cut through. Missy's right. We need to get to the bottom of this. Someone killed our friend for some awful reason, if not for the ultimate prize. Murder is murder. Someone dies at another hand. That life is taken away. One lives, and one dies. There's no gray area about it. Ash's eyes were fiery with intent. Make sure. Perfect. Okay. Someone here. She trailed off, but we could fill in the blanks on our own. She didn't dare to utter the idea that someone standing within our ranks did this. She marched over and gently laid a hand on Pandora's, sharing a moment of silence for her. The rest of the group was unnerved, but silently agreed. Missy and Ashley were stern, but they were right. I was shocked at the sight of Pandora's body, but I mostly felt sad. She looked peaceful, suspended in a newfound endless slumber. The longer I looked at Pandora, the more The suffocating melancholy in my heart grew. My heart ached to hear her voice again, to see her smile. She had so much life, and it was dashed away in an instant. I clung to whatever memories I had of her. I couldn't let her warmth, her love, her hope go unforgotten. Someone killed her, and we needed to find out who, not only for our peace of mind, but for Pandora's sake. Despite my fervor, I was still anxious about investigating a body. It was only natural. Just this morning, Pandora was so animated, sharing her breakfast pastries and getting along with everyone. But now all signs of life were erased, leaving a cold semblance of her person. I tried to work through my nerves by asking the others their thoughts on the situation. That is, if anyone had anything to say. Okay. There's a small scrap of paper in the pool. What's that? Not sure. Carefully fished out the scrap of paper, taking care not to tear it. Oh. It was soaked, causing the words to be completely illegible. Oh, it's impossible to read. Yeah, it's ruined. It almost fell apart in my hands. I know, perhaps. However, the writing is impossible to decipher at this point. But how could this refuse be remotely related to the case at hand? Don't know. Seems kind of out of place, though. Remember, the announcement from this morning said there is a special gift for whoever went to the atrium. That is correct. Is it possible that this note was the supposed special gift? Can't say. However, I noticed the larger ink blots were vaguely in the shape of something I had seen before. I left the shreds of paper on the side of the pool. Trying to investigate the body. It's Pandora's body. Pandora's bracelet formed a rose gold color like my own, but now a vibrant neon pink. I guess it meant she's gone. Difficult as it is, we had to search the body and scene for clues. Nevertheless, Missy was having a hard time looking directly at Pandora's body. I already see something. Do you notice anything odd? I briefly looked at Pandora's neck. Her neck seems to be in pretty bad shape. Looks red from some kind of stress. But other than that, I can't really figure anything else out. This is difficult. Whether we're looking at the body or a victim report, the fact remains we are to investigate a horrible thing. We ought to take a look at the victim report provided. Perhaps we'll learn something. The Nucleophile sheds some light on Pandora's death. Looks like a considerable amount has been conveniently omitted. Or rather, the entire file has been paraphrased for the purpose of vagueness. May I take a look? Missy handed me a black postcard-sized sheet. Victim, Pandora Espere. Cause of death, victim suffered from strangulation. Strangulation. No further injuries detected. So it was strangulation. But is that all the information we have? Unfortunately, however, we have yet to inspect the scene itself. I trust none of the first witnesses shifted anything around upon arrival. Nope, I didn't touch anything. I saw her body, ran out, and yelled for help, which called Cyrus and Cannon. Neither of them approached her. Well, there's not much else we can do. I admit this is nothing if not shocking to see. The words were unwavering, but Missy's voice was cracked and disjointed. Yeah, I can't believe it actually happened. It's inconceivable, and to Pandora, nonetheless. She held together quite strongly. I'm certain her spirit would not. Oh, she held together quite strongly. I'm certain her spirit would not have been crushed by a game constructed of fear. Alas, there's no use thinking in hopeful hypotheticals now that this has occurred. Yeah, I was shaken at how articulate, even on the subject of death, Missy remained. Let's go with Echo. It's selfish, but after I heard the announcement, I was relieved to see you standing in the room. That said, Pandora didn't deserve this. No one deserves this. I just, I just hope she didn't suffer. Ashley fell silent and stared at our lost friend. I had never seen Ashley so distraught. This is distressing to say the least. Echo, were you the first one here? Uh, yeah. I didn't catch anyone on my way here, so I, so, so I can't say I saw anyone suspicious could have done this. You came pretty quickly after I shouted. Did you happen to see anyone? Can't say that I did. I was in the climbing center right next door, too. Was Canyon with you? She came about the same time as you, if I recall. Correct? No, I was by myself. While I was in the climbing center, I left the door open if anyone wanted to join in recreation. No one came by the center, and I didn't leave until I heard your voice. I ran into Canyon shortly thereafter in the hallways, just in front of the spa lounge. Weird. I didn't run into anyone on the first floor either, so whoever did it must have just vanished. That's unlikely. Regardless, how did the culprit give us the slip? Cyrus was grumbling to himself as he tried to organize the event past. Okay. I think I'm going to be sick. I rubbed his back as he took deep breaths. Hey, it'll be okay. Art could barely eke out a word in his state. You suspicious. Is it really possible that the music provoked murder? I can't wrap my head around music being used to motivate something so extreme. I agree. I can't condone the vilifying of music. It's proven that music has therapeutic qualities, but conversely, select sounds have the ability to cause anxiety and other negative effects. In that case, maybe the motivating music was meant to make us stop thinking clearly. I definitely felt startled when it began. Perhaps the rhythm of music can affect your body. Given our experience with the motivating music, it was high paced and likely used to cause, as the announcer said, blood pumping excitement. I suppose those qualities could have been abused to activate a fight or flight response that would inevitably end up like this. Is that so? That wretched music was certainly irritating, but for someone to succumb and produce such an intense reaction, to what end? Was the music really that motivating? Faye fainted as soon as she entered the spa lounge. Forte was kind enough to situate her in a spare chair off to the side to regain her strength. Lyle, what are you thinking? If I'm being honest, I don't know. There's not a lot on the scene to dissect. The only thing that caught my eye was that shred of paper in the spa pool, but it's completely ruined. I expected a bit more keen observations from him, but Lyle was either stumped or too shocked to speak on the matter. One more person. Man. Don't talk to me. Cannon spoke through tightly gritted teeth. She looked disturbed. After investigating Pandora's body, I felt an exhaustion like no other. Never in my life did I think I would be experiencing something like this. The weight of the shock and melancholy of it all bore heavy on my shoulders. Is there nothing else we can do? I wonder. Did anyone see anything else suspicious on their way over here? We all looked at one another, but no one replied. Everyone was understandably on edge. Of course, no one wanted to talk. It appears we exhausted all avenues of investigation here. Such a lackluster of amount of clues doesn't bode well for us. Yes, but if we've done all we can looking into the scene, there is nothing left but to discover Pandora's killer. Of course, that's easier said than done. Heard Cannon grumbling in the corner. She seemed distressed. All right, I think I've given you all enough leeway to get yourselves together. So, it's time for the class trial. I hope you have enough ammunition to shoot down the culprit. If not, then I guess you're all out of luck. There's an elevator in the main foyer that will cruise you all the way down to the special class trial courtroom. If you do not assemble in the elevator quickly, I'll send out a radio transmission that will release a toxic gas in your braces. You want to find out who did it, right? You don't want your life to end before you even had a chance to defend yourselves, right? And that and more will be available for your group in the courtroom. Let's get a move on. I'll be seeing you shortly. The announcement went out as quickly as it came. So this is really happening. The group shifted around anxiously. Well, what are we waiting for? Ashley took the first strides out of the room, but not without giving Pandora one last somber look from the doorway. Forte gently eased Sai awake, turning her gaze from the unsightly scene and helping her as she hobbled out. One by one, the others filtered out of the spa lounge. I stood back for a moment to take one last look at Pandora. Wow. Oh, man. We all stepped into the large elevator and began the dark descent into the supposed courtroom. The elevator sailed noiselessly toward our unknown destination for what felt like eternity. Silently, we stood. No one dared speak. I had a lump in my throat from the anxiety, the fear, the sadness. My stomach was knotted, my head dizzy, my heart aching. The spa lounge we were meant to investigate came short of any useful clues. We were only able to procure two traces of evidence, one fact of which was already stated simply in the victim report, and the other was a secret note that only few were aware of. Nervous was an understatement. I was at a complete loss. The elevator eventually slid to a standstill, shaking me from my thoughts. The doors opened to reveal our rendezvous point. The spacious dome-shaped room was topped with a glass ceiling, a third of the foundation revealing the sunset sky outside our confines. The walls themselves were barren. A matte navy blue with a rim light illuminating the room. Hanging on the wall across the way was a grim picture frame representing Pandora. Her profile had been crudely stricken with a violent pink X. The picture frame was positioned so that it was looking almost hauntingly over a circular group of podiums. It was a bleak place. To think there was a dedicated location for whatever was about to occur. Just where were we? Welcome, one and all, to the trial grounds. The stands before you will be the key locale for today's trial, so let's see some hustle, people. The announcement was much more imposing in the courtroom, echoing through the dome chamber, each reverberation almost pushing us into place. We steadily settled in and stood in silence. At the stand, we were placed in a circular fashion. Our faces, our fears, and our emotions were exposed to one another. The atmosphere, thick with anxiety, was palpable and crushing. I could feel my heavy heart pounding in my head. My palms were sweaty, knees beat. Oh, damn. Yet I could feel a dreadful, eerie chill go up my spine. I tried to be strong, but my knees were weak, my breath short. We were here because of one unmistakable fact. Someone killed her. Pandora Espere, the ultimate baker. A gentle and caring person who wanted nothing more than to share her good spirit and delectable treats with the world. Someone here was responsible for her death. And the only thing that kept me standing firm was the drive to figure out who heartlessly ended her life. A light began to flicker, weakly, from the center of the circle of the stands. The flickering gained strength as a shape began to take form within the light. Something like the shape of a person began to appear. Oh! Wahahaha! Welcome, one and all. Welcome to the courtroom. Who are you? What is that? Who am I? What is that? Bah, answers to those questions don't matter too much. Besides, I think you ought to have more pressing questions since something super bad has transpired. All you need to know is that I'm your lovely judge for today's trial. Okay, maybe I'm not a real certified judge or whatever, but I will be the one passing judgment on what happens today and after each subsequent murder to come. Judge but not really a judge is too long and confusing to address me, so you may call me Zero. The hologram of a person named Zero presented itself, giving a face to the voice of our killing game announcer. Class trial. Without further ado, I take it you all know why you're here. Geesh, you're all a quiet bunch, aren't you? You're all here to suss out who done it. In other words, you're all on trial to figure out who the culprit of today's heinous crime is. Did you think you could just get away with murder and win the prize? Nah, it's not that simple. The rules are as follows: discuss, discover, and determine who the culprit is among your group. A majority vote will steal the individual space, and we'll just see what happens from there. Yeah, one of few outcomes will occur. Determine and vote incorrectly, and the entire class is executed, with the culprit alone able to walk free and win the ultimate prize. That's the ideal endgame for the culprit. Determine and vote correctly, and the culprit alone will receive proper retribution and perish at the hands of your group's group decision. Phew, you might live to see another day. Oh. Our victim today is Pandora Espere, the ultimate baker. A sweet young lady who could do nothing wrong. Or could she? Well, people can surprise you. So, with that out of the way, get to talking. Who exactly are you? What? You're still asking that even though I introduced myself all nice? You should have bigger concerns than that. Talk about the murder. Can't believe who did it isn't your top priority right now. Huh? No one wants to talk? Need I remind your lives are kind of on the line? If none of you start talking, we'll all default to having lost the trial and you'll all be executed. You don't want that, do you? Executed? What does that mean? The dictionary definition to execute. Carry out a sentence of death. It's really quite simple. On the one hand, it makes my job easier. You don't have to listen to bad deductions. On the other hand, I'd be terribly bored if this game didn't go past the first chapter. Everyone, please, we need to discuss who could have possibly done the unthinkable. As trifling or even irrelevant as something may be, if you have any concerns about the case, speak now. It's scary. Say, are you okay? Say, please don't push yourself. Yes, thank you. If he wants us to talk, I'll talk. I'll talk about how scared I am. I just want to go home. I can't get used to anything around here. I don't know any of you people. And then someone gets killed? Say, I understand it's difficult, but discussing our friend's death is necessary to ensure we don't find a similar fate ourselves. At the very least, we can try to remember our last moments with her. That Zero is right. We don't want to go down without a fight, right? Why don't we begin with Pandora's last known whereabouts? The silence in the room was oppressive. A trial to defend ourselves? Why did I need to defend myself if I know for a fact that I would never kill her? Regardless, no one knew where to start. Well then, I shall begin. Last I saw her, we were sharing a quiet breakfast. I can back that. The group was composed of Art, Echo, Missy, Pandora, and myself. In the dining hall from about 7:40 a.m. to 10 a.m. After that, we all kind of went our own way. I went around the mansion with Echo to talk to the others who weren't at breakfast. Who did we see again, Echo? Who did we see? Who did we see? We saw Say. We saw Cannon. We saw Forte. We also saw Pandora. No, Pandora was with us. I think it's Say, Cannon, Forte, and Miles. Cannon was in the atrium. Pandora came into the atrium. We saw Say, the dining hall, so we had to help her with her meal. We saw Forte in the theater, because we talked about his dog. And then we found Lyle. Oh yeah, those people were Say, Cannon, Forte, and Lyle. We asked them about their talent. That's right. But when we were touring the mansion, we met with those four and no one else. The only ones we didn't see after breakfast were Pandora and Ashley. I mean, we met with Pandora when we were talking to Cannon, but she didn't stick around long. She said she had somewhere to be and left to go who knows where. So there's a period of time in which no one saw Pandora last. Is that correct? That window apparently being somewhere between 10 a.m. to approximately 4 p.m. And anyone else provide their whereabouts in that approximate time frame. I was alone in the study for a good portion of the afternoon. I went to the theater at about 2:30. Oh, you must have left just before I went in. I went to the study at 3 p.m. I spent my time in my personal room. I wasn't in one place. I was investigating the mansion. Till 3, that is. I met up with Art for a little bit and eventually landed in the jazz club right up before 4. I was regaling myself with the amenities in the theater for much of the afternoon. I, I was in my room, too. After I had a meal with Art and Echo, I went back and didn't leave at all. I was in the atrium for a while. Looks like no one has a particularly strong alibi except Art and Echo, who can vouch for each other until 3 p.m. What does that mean? It means since many of us were acting on our own for an extended period of time, our whereabouts can be heavily doubted. Anyone could have lied about their activity and instead set up some sort of trap to get rid of Pandora, since no one saw each other. So we're all suspicious. It's difficult to narrow down who is potentially suspicious on these claims alone. Let's calm down and think thoroughly. Why don't we move the topic to the forced motive question? The question, along with motivation music, was provided to push someone to commit crime. We ought to figure out what about the question could have caused such distress. The forced motive question. A small group of us talked about it briefly this morning over breakfast, but ultimately we couldn't figure out the purpose of the question. Why don't we discuss the purpose now that everyone is present? Question comments. The purpose of the forced motive question. The question was, are your talents a true representation of who you are? Who are you beyond your talent? What could it mean? I should pay attention to the statements that might sound interesting. A question to provoke killing. It makes no sense. How could a simple question make us do something as extreme as end someone's life? I forgot to read that. How could a simple question make us do a greater bond? Echo, I believe you led our discussion this morning. You should be well versed in what everyone had to say and the consensus we came to. That's right. We all shared our thoughts and agreed nothing we said struck anyone as strange. The purpose of the post motive question. The question was, are your talents a true representation of who you are beyond your talent? What could it mean? What do you mean by distrust? Distrust, Ash. Let's say someone didn't want to talk about their talent, despite the talent being something that's highly lauded. Someone wouldn't want to talk about such an unassuming topic. Their resistance should be suspicious, right? But just because someone's talent is public knowledge, it doesn't necessarily mean the individual's life and practice beyond it should be public as well. Ash, you kept your talent unknown to me for whatever reason. Are you saying you want me to believe you're suspicious? Of course not. How could you even say that? Did you ask someone about the fourth motive question and not get an answer? No, I just didn't want to bother anyone with such a potentially loaded question. Is my talent a true representation of who I am? I thought about my talent as a representation of me. It was simply a hobby that spiraled into something incredible. I never would have thought racing would lead me to end up in such a strange mess. Sorry to press you so hard, Ash. Art asked me if I knew anything about her talent, and I couldn't properly answer him. That said, I think this conversation eventually proved your point, that it could cause discord. There is contention, even between us. That's alright. I'm sorry if keeping it a secret hurt you, Echo. Didn't mean to tie you up in such complications. It's not so complicated. You're my friend. If anything hurts, it's the fact that I burdened you with this topic. Well, that's the purpose of discussion, isn't it? To bring ideas and theories to light. And I don't suppose I just performed an example of the question causing such an altercation. Oh, wasn't that something? Best friends reconciling their differences for the sake of proving a point. I suppose every discussion has to start somewhere. Okay, as you were. Right. Thank you for that bookend, Zero. In that case, what if the question posed was meant to make us look at ultimate student talent as an end end justifies the means point product. A mean justice fries served with what? End justifies the means, saying in which a result is deemed so important that a new method, morally good or bad, may be used to achieve it. In this case, I believe what Echo is saying is regardless of how someone achieves such an advanced talent or what the person is like behind it is meaningless in the grand scheme of having an ultimate title. After all, didn't we all sign up for the preservation project knowing full well that we needed to bear an ultimate title? An ultimate title. Precariously valuable title someone received for super excelling in their field of expertise. But what does this possibly have to do with Pandora getting killed? There's no way anyone was like jealous of her talent or something, was there? But we were all strangers before meeting in this scary place, anyway. I fully want to believe. I want to believe we all got along well with her. We all got along with each other, in fact. Without the killing game pressure, I don't see how anyone could possibly harbor any ill will. Nah, someone has gotta hate her. Man, what? What? I'm bored. You aren't talking about anything interesting, so I thought I'd throw you all a bone to get the ball rolling a little faster. How about you shut up? Not one single person is going to be loved by everyone. It's just not possible. How could you say that? She did nothing but show kindness and warmth toward everyone. Pandora only ever wanted to share good food with good friends. Yes, she always worked tirelessly to bring us together with her delicacies. Wow. Oh, good show, everyone. You're all such great actors. I guess it's been fun watching, but the discussion isn't really going anywhere. Oh ho ho. I'll just put an end to this now. This case? Oh yeah, I thought you were going somewhere else. This trial? It's all an elaborate ARG scheme. Lyle? It's all an act. The reason why there's so few clues, it's just a way to save resources. Imagine if the folks setting up the game had to use a bunch of fake blood to create the scene. Though I suppose for the sake of entertainment, such systems exist to waste resources. Lyle, what are you talking about? Pandora isn't dead. She can't be. Nothing adds up. But I suppose if you want me to keep playing, I'll say this. Let's think about... Shut up. Let's think about who was on the scene first. Buddy, if I recall correctly, it was Echo, wasn't it? Yeah. I saw Pandora's body first, then I called for help, which made Cyrus and Cannon arrive shortly after. Okay, easy. The culprit is one of you three. What? On what grounds do you think you can speculate that? Pandora's supposed time of death was 4:05, right? I'll set the scene. We're just minding our own business in the mansion, not knowing what's to come. Soon some nasty music starts playing. One of you three starts getting stressed out, so you strangle the first person you see. How else could we narrow down the culprit? It has to be someone who was near the scene after 4 p.m., and that person couldn't have gotten far after escaping the crime scene. In my opinion, a motivation to kill a la stress from music is kind of shoddy writing, but at least there was an attempt. I'll keep going on about the killing game being an ARG, but her death seemed so real. Huh? Wait, doesn't that mean everyone's alibis from earlier don't amount to anything? Bingo. I believe all of you discussed your whereabouts up to approximately 3 p.m. latest, but no one said anything from then to 4 p.m. when the music started. The critical moment to consider is the time just before the murder occurred, obviously. If someone offered Pandora via acute strangulation and made their getaway, it's not likely the culprit would have gotten far from then and when Echo supposedly discovered the body. So, with the window of action narrowed down between 4 and 4:05, does anyone care to share their newly updated whereabouts? Where were we all in the approximate time around 4 p.m. leading up to the motivational music? If we follow through with Lyle's speculation, we might glean some information that will help us. Sus, did you run to the atrium when the music started playing? No, I was already around that area after hanging out with Lyle. Why would I go to a giant room that echoes to avoid that horrible music? Missy joined me in the theater after the music started. I thought Forte and I could go backstage and control the sound system, but our attempts were futile. I was in my room still hiding under the covers. I told you I was in the foyer leading up to the music. It was noisy, sure, but nothing I couldn't deal with. I was in the jazz club. I told Echo earlier as well. I was in the climbing center and saw no one suspicious start past that door. The open door. Like say, I was in my room too. Okay. Already talked to you. Theater. So you can vouch for each other, right? Yes, because Missy had an idea that required my assistance. Dang, dang, dang. Wait a minute, Lyle. I know for a fact that the jazz club is soundproof. That's right. When I attempted to play the cello yesterday, you and Cyrus were just outside the jazz club in the hallway. Neither of you seemed to have any reaction when we came out shortly after. That means it's possible that Lyle is exempt from hearing the motivational music. Hmm, does it? I suppose you're onto something. I admit, I don't even know what the motivational music sounds like, but nothing. That's an awfully precarious situation you put yourself in, Lyle. Sure, it's odd, but what's stranger still is how did Lyle know about the motivational music if he never heard it? The kiosk. Remember, they translate sound to text, but this time I only saw a message. It said something like preserving the atmosphere of the room. Hmm, zero. What's up? You are the judge of this trial, but you are also the announcement operator outside these walls. I assume you can assist us with something clerical like this. Can you tell us what the kiosk message said in specific? Your current room is a special room that blocks all outside sound to preserve the atmosphere of the room. Please enjoy to your heart's content. I didn't write that, by the way. So you're saying we could have avoided the noise entirely? Isn't that too convenient? Wait a minute. In that case, what if Lyle is the one who killed Pandora? What? Didn't I just say that it was the music that would have provoked someone to kill her? I was in the jazz club. I didn't hear the music, therefore I wouldn't have felt the motivation to move. No, you could have killed her in the jazz club and moved her body to the spa lounge. That would explain the lack of clues in the spa lounge. This is troublesome. Did any of us investigate the jazz club afterwards? No. I was so shocked from seeing the body that I didn't even think about looking elsewhere. I think we were all just astonished as soon as we heard the body discovery chime. So perhaps Lyle counted on that fact and did in fact kill her in the jazz club. He doesn't have an alibi for a large portion of the afternoon anyway. Saying something like scouring the mansion for clues, he could have spent the whole day unsupervised, which is a terrible thing that ended Pandora's life. Hey, haven't you heard the phrase extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence? Well, that's not out of the question. After all, the puzzle master could have set up something elaborate, so elaborate that the answer to this murder puzzle goes right over our head. That can't be possible. I was in the climbing center, which is between the spa lounge and jazz club. If Lau committed the crime in the jazz lounge, I would have been plainly witness to the change of scene. You very well could have constructed that alibi to assist Lyle in his dark activity. Now, why on earth would I lie about such a thing? Settle down. Yelling at each other with hypotheticals isn't getting us anywhere. Agreed. If it will quell Stay and Forte's worries, let's tackle their initial theory and go from there. Stay and Forte are wrapped up in the possibility of Lyle killing Pandora in the jazz club. Is it worth discussing? I say yes. Just to be safe, we shouldn't leave anything to doubt. If Lyle isn't the culprit, then he shouldn't have any problem clearing the air. Are you kidding me? Fine. What would my motive for killing her be? I didn't hear the motivational music, so that's out of the question. Wait. I didn't speak to her about the forced motive question since I haven't seen her all afternoon. So tell me, based on my lack of time around Pandora, do I even have a clear reason to get rid of her? Ah. Oh my stars, you all are so bad at this. What? I tell you all for certain that nothing happened in the jazz club. Why didn't you tell us? Huh? I'm telling you this because you are all just awful at this whole trial thing. Ha. Huh. Geesh, I guess this is what happens when there's no ultimate detective around, huh? Huh? And your ultimate photographer is so quiet, she's all but dropped dead at this point. If she did drop dead, you would have to go through another trial, and I don't think I have the patience to watch you run circles at this rate. Alright, since this is clearly going nowhere, allow me to throw you a bone. There's something strange about the note in the spa pool, don't you think? I already know. Lyle very conveniently managed to redirect the conversation from the piece of evidence on scene. Ah, aha. I'll let you all think for yourselves. The note. The note must have something to do with Pandora's murder, but what? I'm certain Art and Lyle know something about it since Lyle brought it up with us, but. Hello? What's with all the dead air? Don't want to talk anymore? Don't want everyone to You don't want everyone to die without giving the trial your best shot, do you? Like, are any of you even trying to save yourselves? Maybe I should just Maybe I should stop giving you these opportunities. Thinking. Courtroom fell silent. It seemed we were all neglected the gravity of the situation. Or rather, we were avoiding it. It's just, nothing felt real. Pandora's death. Her body hardly showed any signs of injury. It was like she was asleep. It's as if we all wanted to forget the reality of the topic at hand, which was that someone had killed our friend. We kept dodging and darting around the main issue. Yes, as painful as it is, we must discuss the murder. It may seem hopeless at the moment, since we don't have much information to work with, but clues will reveal themselves as we bring about certain topics to light. So don't hold your tongue. We must do this to save ourselves. Then I'll start with her cause of death. From there, it'll probably be easier to reason out potential culprits. According to the Monokuma file, it was strangulation. Can we identify what she was strangled with? We ought to touch upon the possibilities. It may be difficult to think about, but no one said such a fight would be easy. Just what was Pandora strangled with? Is there something we're missing? I was thinking it might have been rope from the climbing center. It's horrifying to think about, but perhaps the culprit used their own hands? No, definitely not. Narrow down our thoughts and eliminate things that would be unlikely. We ought to think about what in the spa lounge could be used. Okay. Let's just go over all the bases. Rope seems like a common enough tool in things like this. Yeah, but Cyrus said he didn't see anyone near the climbing center. I don't recall seeing any rope left in the spa lounge. The culprit could have retrieved it far in advance and disposed of it after the fact, though. I guess, but why not dispose of this suspicious note as well? It was left in such a conspicuous place. Isn't that strange? Oh, Well, as long as we're able to eliminate options, it'll get us a little closer to the truth, right? Yep. No, definitely not their own hands. What in the spa lounge could be used? If we consider the following. The climbing center and jazz club are occupied by one person each. Neither of the occupants saw anyone else during their stay. And the killing occurred soon after the 4 p.m. music, so it's likely the culprit could have only used whatever was available on location. What, if anything, could be used? Think. What is the murder weapon? Oh, right there. Could it be? Echo, are you onto something? I think so. You brought up a good line of thought that made me rethink the scenario. I recall seeing something that might answer our questions. I believe the culprit may have used a towel to strangle her. It's an unassuming object, isn't it? Of course, there are going to be towels in the spa lounge. So the culprit took advantage of the location and utilized the tools available. The tool being the very towel she was resting her head on. Then they must have strangled her by wrapping the towel around her neck and pulling until she stopped struggling. Until she stopped struggling and breathing altogether. To explain the lack of fingernails dug in, as well as explain why I didn't see anyone near the climbing center in the event rope was used. Might be conjecture, but it's the best thing we have so far. But there's something bothering me. If I may, what I don't get is why was Pandora seemingly so relaxed in the spa? She was reclined and there weren't any signs of struggle in the whole room. There must have been the obnoxious music playing in the spa too, so I doubt she would have stayed. That's strange indeed. I certainly couldn't concentrate on the climbing grips once it started. That music was so annoying. I didn't know it was playing until I was outside. More importantly, Echo, did you bonk your head or something? The spa lounge is soundproof. Huh? Well, I guess that makes sense. Since I threw the door opening, since I threw the door open on entering. Hang on, what? The lounge is soundproof? Whoops, was that not common knowledge? Hold it. Explain yourself. D- does that have any relevance to the trial? The spa lounge is soundproof, and the motivational music was playing throughout the rest of the mansion. Whoever was in the spa lounge with Pandora must not have been aware of the music. Zero, I noticed in your kiosk message you didn't specify which room was soundproof. It simply said your current room is a special room. Is that correct? I said I didn't write that. But yes, I guess I did say that, didn't it? Fine. Yes, yes. All the second floor rooms are soundproof. Happy? All second floor rooms. In that case, wouldn't Pandora have been completely relaxed and unaware of the motivational music when it started at 4 p.m.? Wait, that's right. Well, not the atrium, but it's more of a giant hall than a room. No closed doors or anything, you know. I wasn't aware. I left the climbing center's doors open during my stay. So it's not just the jazz club. We probably assumed the jazz club alone was soundproof because people perform in there. Now it has been revealed that Pandora was willingly in the spa lounge, relaxed and completely unaware of the music, presumably far before it started playing in the first place. Even when it did begin, Even when it did begin, she would have been undisturbed by it due to the soundproof quality of the spa lounge. Just a minute. That means the motivational music had nothing to do with provoking someone to kill her. What? Echo, you have an idea of what provoked the person, don't you? I do. You had this look on your face since this afternoon. It's the note, isn't it? Ding, ding, ding. You've seen it before. In fact, you saw it. You saw it before I brought it up with you and Art. Finally, talking about the note. Yes, I've seen it before. Pandora herself showed it to me last night. Pandora? But but how did she see it? Lyle said it was the announcement's special gift from this morning. Ah, I lied about that. There is no special gift. If someone did show up, I was just going to call them a chump personally. I'm actually also perplexed as to where that came from. Although maybe I shouldn't complain. The note had made things very interesting. So hold up. Give me a second to think. So the note Pandora had nothing to do with a special gift. And Zero has no idea about the note. I'm think, huh? Okay, this is interesting. Wahaha. What is this note you're all talking about? Remember that scrap of paper we saw in the spa pool? Yes, it was soaked beyond legibility. That's the note we're talking about, namely, a note to be kept in secrecy. I remember it said, if you recognize one of the symbols depicted, then you have finally found me in our safe. Please do not speak of this note's existence. Trust no one but yourself. It had two emblems on it, as the note references, and I saw one of those emblems on the shred of wet paper in the spa pool. Pandora was in possession of such a dangerous, suspicious thing. The culprit must have thought that she had a note on hand and threw it into the pool to soak and destroy it. They were probably afraid of the ramifications of protecting the recipient and what effect it could have on the rest of us in the killing game. They probably thought that whoever is in possession of the note must be linked to the game itself. Then wouldn't the culprit be one of the few who knew of the note's existence? That's right. She reacted when Zero first mentioned it. Say, you reacted when Zero mentioned the note earlier. Have you seen the note before? I, I, I have never seen it. I see. But how could that be? Lyle said he saw Say go into the pantry, and after she left, he saw the note. Before this trial, the only ones who could have seen it were Say, Lyle, Echo, and me, right? If the atrium special gift was a lie, then what's with the secret note being in the pantry earlier this afternoon? I imagine Pandora herself must have left it there, seeing as she was utilizing the ingredients from the pantry to make breakfast this morning. She just left it there? Why there a similar note in the spa pool? She couldn't have left it out of her possession if it's supposedly a note to be kept in secrecy. Wait a minute, then are there two notes? But we still don't know where those notes came from in the first place. None of these random details are making any sense. I'm also having a hard time sorting out relevant information. Indeed, it's becoming difficult to find what is true, what happened when, why things are as they are. Can we try to lay down a timeline of events? That could clear our heads and straighten things out, if anything. Timeline of events. Yes, I think that could help. I noticed a handful of discrepancies that could use clearing up. Perhaps I ought to take the events back to last night when Pandora showed me the secret note. Okay, let's get back. The note seems to be the biggest complication. Pandora pulled me aside to show the secret. Oh, it was 9 p.m. because the announcement went. Well, then it was 10. I thought it was 9. Yes, it was 10 p.m. I remember the lights started to dim during our conversation, indicating the start of the nighttime. The following morning, which was earlier today, we can presume that Pandora must have been up earlier than everyone else and began preparing breakfast for us. A small group of us had breakfast and conversed. That's right, the fourth motive question announcement rang in at 9 a.m. We briefly touched on the topic, but ultimately didn't feel any motivation to conduct any sort of killing, slightly to the chagrin of the announcer. Afterwards, I had planned to go back to my room, but Art stopped me and we went around asking the other students about the question. We were occupied until 3. Yes, that's it. But just before 3, Art and I ran into Lyle as he was going to his room. We talked to him a little bit about the question, but he had little to say about the matter. During our conversation, he brought to our attention the secret note, the same secret note Pandora had the night before. Lyle claimed that someone had left the note in the pantry, and the person who was last seen in the pantry before him was Faye. Lyle claims he saw Faye scurry from the second floor atrium to the pantry and back out again. After Lyle showed us the disarmed door and the secret note, Art and Lyle went off on their own, and I went to the study at 3 p.m. While I was in the study, none of the announcement rang in and started playing some sort of jarring motivational music that once again attempted to start the killing. 4. That's right, I recall the announcer saying the time. I ran out of the study in a panic, trying to find any of the other students. From the atrium, I saw a shadowy figure at the top of the stairs. I followed them, but lost track of them, which instead led me to discover Pandora's body. If only I was able to keep up with the shadowy figure, perhaps this trial would have been over sooner. But it's strange. I couldn't seem to add anything up despite how much we knew. Or rather, perhaps there was some other unforeseen force that factored in that contributed to Pandora getting killed. There had to be something. Something missing. I felt uneasy anticipation tugging at me, something willing me to continue the pursuit of whatever force caused this mess. I had to try. Uncovering the truth was more difficult than I thought. But tell me not to give up. I had to try to narrow down where this strange factor's weak point was. I thought about the scenario from the starting point of when the note was revealed, since it was a topic of contention. Perhaps I ought to think backwards from Pandora's death to see if there are any holes. Pandora was killed in the spa lounge. True. Yes, there weren't any signs of her body being moved. But before she was killed, what was Pandora's speculated state in the spa lounge? Perhaps. We were able to assume she was relaxed in the spa lounge because the lounge is soundproof. We learned that the spa lounge has soundproof qualities. If Pandora was in there with the door closed, she would likely not have been disturbed. Wait a minute. When I first entered the spa lounge, I was initially under the impression that there was more motivational music playing within. Little did I know, it was only playing because I had thrown the door open, ruining the soundproof quality of the room. However, someone noted that they were unaware of the music until they moved from one area to the next. Art, the fact is the climbing center and jazz club were already occupied, and neither Cyrus nor Lyle claimed they were with company. This person could have not left the only remaining room that shared the soundproof quality of the other two. Why was Pandora seemingly so relaxed in the spa? She was reclined and there weren't any signs of struggle in the whole room. There must have been the noxious music playing in the spa too, so I doubt she would have stayed. That's strange indeed. I certainly couldn't concentrate on the climbing grips once it started. That music was so annoying, I didn't know it was playing until I was outside. More importantly, Echo, did you bonk your head or something? The spa lounge is soundproof. There it is. Who was behind the spa lounge and motivational music discrepancy? Art. By making a remark of the change between locations, the culprit could have only been in the spa lounge before the motivational music. By that logic, the culprit must have shared the room with the victim. Art must have been in the spa lounge with Pandora before she died. Everyone, I think I have the full picture. What was with you? You were totally spaced out for a second. Be quiet, you. Oh, yes, ma'am. Echo, was there something we were missing? Yeah, I think something might have slipped right under us. We've been looking at this under the guise that the motivational music had everything to do with the murder. However, there is a discrepancy in that thinking. Pandora was never exposed to it, yet she wound up victim to the effects of it. As we discussed and discovered, all second floor rooms are soundproof from outside noise when the doors close. Case in point, Cyrus leaving the climbing center, doors open, and Lyle undisturbed in the jazz club. But then I noticed, someone said something strange. They mentioned they weren't aware of the music either, that is, until they exited a presumably soundproof room. Neither Cyrus nor Lyle ever encountered anyone during their stay. So by process of elimination, the only room this person could have exited would be the spa lounge. I don't know if anyone else picked up on it, but I think I know who the culprit is. Art. Did you kill Pandora? Art? What? Hang on. That can't be. Please yield. Echo, this thought of yours. It's awfully bold for you to point the finger at someone so conclusively. Well, it's only a shred of an idea, but it's the only piece that fits. We put the timeline together beginning from when Art and I separated at 3 p.m. It's not unreasonable to assume that this crime was conducted during a smaller window after Art and Lyle separated and before the motivational music. I was trying to read. It's been stated several times that Lyle was by himself in the jazz club, so given the circumstance, what? They're all just going to listen to that tiny, impossible statement? Art, say something. Don't let them tell you what's what. It's nonsense. What? In fact, he was with me in the jazz club until 4 p.m. Yeah, isn't that right? You're just covering up now. Lyle, you must know that we are beyond the veil of smoke and mirrors at this point. What are you implying? It's far too late for you to defend him. If you two were together, it would have been mentioned ages ago. That shadow I saw at the top of the stairs. It must have been Art, fleeing the spa lounge towards the atrium. He must not have known there was distressing music playing outside the spa. Otherwise, he wouldn't have let slip that he noticed the shift in music when leaving the spa after the fact. Grrr. Lyle, please think about the vents in your head. As much as I hate to admit it, there's only one answer I can think of. Even though this is all speculative and I want nothing more than not to believe it, this is the only ammunition we have. Art, we're your friends, aren't we? Please, if we're wrong, just tell us we're wrong. If this is all untrue, we can put this debacle behind us. Echo, do you remember what I told you when you asked me about the forced motive question? Yeah. I recall you said you liked playing golf, but but you haven't expanded your interests outside golfing. Yeah, it's because they would never let me. It's a terrible existence, but it's a terrible existence being the ultimate golfer for them. All day I stand around in the sun, listening to jerks pitch false interest and crummy business ideas to each other. I'm not playing golf. I'm just there to look good while the suits are off playing corporate deception and back scratching. They made me hate golf. So that motive question, it made me think about what I was doing. I wasn't having fun anymore, even though I'm great at it. I'm the ultimate golfer. Even if that's the case, I didn't feel like me anymore. It's weird. I've had more fun here, hanging out with everyone, not indulging my talent, even though it's the thing that landed me here in the first place. I kept thinking about that. Kept thinking about the FMQ, about how I hate this part of me that blessed me with an opportunity to hang out with all you fun people. Before I knew it, I wandered into the spa lounge for some peace and quiet. I thought no one was in there, but Pandora was there, quiet as a mouse. I didn't even notice her until I sat right next to her. She was so nice. Good afternoon, Art. Care to join me? Uh, 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 sure thing. Are you alright? I didn't scare you, did I? Oh, no, I just, didn't know, no, didn't notice you when I came in. You know how it is. Headed somewhere else and all. I see. Art, may I ask you something? What's up? I believe I heard about you influencing a merger between yours and Lyle's school. Am I correct? Yeah, that was a while ago. It's such an amazing accomplishment. I could only wish to achieve something half as grand as that. Oh, it's nothing. I hardly remember it. You insist. It's nothing to sneeze at either. I'm sure the students of both schools have benefited greatly from the feat. Yeah, probably. But I wouldn't know. I only went to school for a year before I was pulled out to focus on golfing. I had a private tutor to cover the difference. Oh, that's quite a generous offer. Hope you can use your talents and position to help more people. I don't know if that's. I don't know if it's that big of a deal. I have faith in you, Art. In fact, I believe all of us have the ability to induce beneficial change like that if we're given the opportunity. Ultimate students, we have the power of passion and influence in our hands, just like them. I hope we all use it for the good of the future. I know we will. Yes, at last, I finally found them. I didn't know what to say. Power of passion? Influencing change isn't as rosy as she chalks it up to be. The only thing that my talent ever got me was trapped. I used to golf all the time with my grandfather before he passed away. After that, I was taken in by some company who would take care of me. 3 square meals and a comfortable place to live. I always played perfect games. Perfect football. Day in and day out. It was the same thing. I thought I was there to show my skills, but every game was just an outside business conference. Eventually, I honed my skills enough to hit a hole in one no matter what. I played short games no one would even care to watch. But I ace it, and they love it. I whiff, and they eat it up. At that point, they didn't care what I did. Using my talent for the good of the future? What about my future? I want to stay with that group for the rest of my life. I thought escaping the preservation project would finally free me from that imprisonment. But everything's all messed up. When Pandora closed her eyes, I felt a burning. She said she found them. Who was she talking about? It was obvious, right? I didn't know what to say. I just took the note she had, threw it in the pool. I wanted to go away. Then everything happened in slow motion. It was like my body had moved on its own. My head was ringing, my hands narrowed onto the towels on her shoulders, and everything was red. It was like there's a fire in my head. When I heard her gasp, my arms were tense, and eventually, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Lyle. I was just trying to have fun with you earlier. Huh? My good for nothing talent made me despise golf. I've never had fun with it since people discovered they could use me for their business deals. Running around with you, figuring out a big puzzle, was the most genuine fun I've had in a while. Thanks, Lyle. What the? No way. No way. This isn't real. You're just part of the fake game, right? You didn't kill anyone. You're an actor. Tell me you're an actor and this whole story was fake. Or tell me this isn't real. It was miserable. Like all of us, Lyle was struggling to come to terms with the fact that art, of all people, Lyle, is this the truth? We have a shred of evidence to go with a confession. I don't know if anyone, I don't know if I can point out. I don't know if I can point out a culprit based on such low proof. Missy, do you want to keep discussing even after his piteous confession? I'm able to have my doubts, am I not? I can't accept it. I'm sure the rest of you are also having trouble just the same. Doubting is the only thing keeping me from fully realizing the weight of a lofty, impossible to swallow truth. If I can doubt, I can still cling to the possibility of art not committing a horrible crime. Missy, you're deluding yourself with a false hope, just like the unfortunately misguided Lyle. Such thinking is unsustainable. There's no need for doubt. Canon. I have definitive proof. Canon. It was small, but it was unmistakable. Art was seated at the base of the atrium centerpiece globe with its head in his hands. The photo looked to be shot from the second floor entryway. That that means the shadowy figure I saw was me, following Art as he fled from the spa lounge. Huh? I was in the foyer, remember? So when I saw Art emerge from the spa lounge, I went to tail him, following him as far as the entrance to the atrium. Then I heard you shout for help, and I did an about face. Little did I know, I would stumble upon the very thing he was running from. What the heck is this? Cannon sure is a weird photographer. So, does that settle your doubt, Missy? But why wait to reveal such damning evidence? You think I want his blood on my hands? If I presented this photograph, we'd know the culprit for certain, thanks to me. Because I'm always unlucky enough to be in the wrong place at the right time. I don't want to bear that weight on my conscience. I know it's selfish, but take it or leave it. Then, I suppose, it's settled. If we can agree this is unquestionably the truth, there's no room for doubt. Hmm. Seems you all have come to a consensus. In that case, it's voting time. This is the final phase of the class trial. Vote for you. Vote for who you think is the culprit. After all that jabbering, you better have a solid answer. Don't let any of that sentimental doubt or faith or whatever keep you from saving yourselves. It's voting time. And we have a winner. Culprit responsible for the murder of Pandora Esperez is none other than the ultimate golfer, Arturo Campopino. Oof, took long enough. Let's try to do better next time, alright? But for now, it's time for the grand finale. You've reached your exciting destination at the end of your first class trial. The destination being punishment time. Class trial adjourned. Punishment time? Well, yeah, eye for an eye, right? He was caught. Too bad. Recap Rule 5. To expedite the process toward the ultimate prize, one must kill a fellow student without getting caught. Oh, but what happens when they do get caught? Recap trial rules. Determine and vote correctly, and the culprit alone will receive proper retribution and perish at the hands of your group decision. It's bizarre. If it weren't for Echo's conveniently specific memory and Cannon's terrible luck pulling her to witness them, Art might have gotten away. Do you have anything to say for yourself, Arto Companion? This is what the Preservation Project isn't it? To kill and live on? To prove your strength above other ultimates? What? You think you're going to live on? Whoops. You clearly don't have the emotional constitution to carry the people's future. What? No. You let your fears and anxiety eat you until you broke. Stop. Why? I'm shocked Pandora didn't live. Please. She lost to you. A weak, vulnerable, pathetic. I couldn't bear to hear it anymore. That's enough. A silvery voice rose from somewhere in the room. Probably Ashley. That voice, it was that other announcer. The voice that welcomed us to this place was here. Zero. Stop this at once. Oh, you. I believe I got rid of you, but you still came back. So weird. Haha. See what I did there? Eve? Eve. These students revealed the culprit. Was that not sufficiently entertaining enough for you? Yeah, they sure did do their thing, but geez, did it take a while. Alright, fine. His face was just so rich with despair. I couldn't help it. It was fun for you, too, right? Stop this. Fine, fine. I'll get on with it. Haha. Goodbye, Arto Compagno, the ultimate golfer. Your execution awaits. And and so it goes. Zero's hologram warped out, and a huge rumbling sound tore through the room. Something was coming. The courtroom floor rumbled beneath us. One of the trial grounds walls slid open, revealing a dark pit beyond the walls. From within, a golf cart came shrieking out, drifting and encircling our stance to stop squarely behind our mechanized arm swept Art off his feet, pulling him into the cart that had sharply stopped for a second before peeling back into the darkness that it came from. Art became sequestered from us. All we could do was watch in horror as his fate was projected on a screen in the middle of the trial grounds. Art was tossed unceremoniously into what appeared to be a sand bunker in the middle of a giant miniature golf course. In a daze, he rose, coughing up and meeting the gaze of a kitschish bear statue holding a raised driver. Wait! The bear twitched. Its metal body groaned wearily as the arms shook to life. A swing tunneled through the air. Art gasped. Please do. Arto Camponio, ultimate golfer, execution by extreme hazard. Wow! Phew, that was worth the wait, I think. And it's funny. He hated golf, but little did he know all those business deals he sat in on. Those deals were the ones that brought in funding for the preservation project, the very thing he wanted to escape to. He thought he could fly away, but it turns out that his influence was unescapable. Life sure is cruel, isn't it? It was horrifying. A disgusting display, mocking Art's ultimate title, ended his life. He hated his talent, and in his last moments, it was all he saw. We all stood completely and utterly shocked. No one said a word. No one moved a muscle. An unmistakable sinking feeling froze us over. Despair. Huh. In return for entertaining me, how about I answer one question that's been drilling into your minds? Where are we? This isn't the preservation project at all, is it? Oh, I said one question only. Our beloved courtroom resides in the Monokuma superstructure. Remember those earthquakes? Those aren't going to bother us thanks to civil engineering. The wonders of modern technology never cease. Huh. So cool. Haha. Hope that satisfied your curiosity. Most certainly did not, you cad. Zero. A silvery voice spoke once more. You are a reaper of despair. Whatever you do ends in futility and provides no benefit to anyone. No benefit to anyone except you and your horrible schadenfreude. Don't think for a moment you've won. I will continue to fight back even after what you've done to me. A sliver of light still remains. Okay, does. Echo Pine. Huh? You received the title of Ultimate Memory. Memory? Wahaha. What is that? We have a tactician, photographer, and silly puzzle master. Good memory for their skills is already required, wouldn't you think? I won't even humor you with this one. The talent isn't even comparable to something remotely useful as ultimate analytical powers like that one pathetic girl. Come on, you've really given up trying, haven't you? It's no fun in having any competition. Fine. You think that will give these people hope? MP6, your queen is in trouble. Have a little I have a little information neither you nor the students will like. Cyrus Surik is someone to be wary of. Ultimate charisma. He isn't who he says he is. He's not a normal Ultimate student like the rest of you. He's much more involved in this game than you think. He's the spy. Ultimate charisma is a terrible cover talent. You're all truly clueless if you believe that. Zero, stop. You've meddled enough. What? And you haven't? I've been given this power for a reason, you know. I'm going to use it as I please. This isn't the answer. Whatever. Courtroom closed. These losers can marinate in despair for a night, but tomorrow we'll get it going again. Zero. Shut up. I'm tired of your poor, useless attempts at creating hope. You will never win. You're a failure. With that odd display, the two holograms cut out. What? What just happened? I was on the verge of tears. My whole body shook violently. Er, there was a weight at the bottom of my heart, dragging my whole body down. Felt like my head was going to split. Becoming trapped in a strange luxury mansion where I seemingly didn't belong. Stuck with a group of revered students with a so-called ultimate talent. Getting involved up in a class trial where we had to investigate someone killing someone else. Concluding with gruesome execution as if everything else wasn't enough. Why was this happening? I want to go to bed for a long, long, long time. Before I knew it, my limp body dove to the floor as I keeled over. My heavy eyes closed weirdly, and I allowed myself to sink into the velvety darkness. Oh yeah, I forgot. 8 students remain. And that's where I'm going to end it for today. This video is way too long. This video will probably be uploaded sometime tonight, maybe. I'm not sure. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment. Yep, that's it.